just finished talking about Microsoft. Now it's time to talk about Sony.
And Sony is going to be walking into this E3 with the biggest grin on its face.
Yes, the PlayStation 4 is the best-selling platform right now.
Let's not talk about the Vita, though.
Yeah, that's not doing so well. And actually, there's some developers from Sony that are actually not doing so well either.
Yeah, like some people from leaving from Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica, among others. But last year, they had a huge E3 presence.
Yes, their PR statement was, "We're not going to screw you over." Yay! Everyone was so happy. It was clear they won that E3 because of that. And it was, well, unfortunately, well, actually for the better for us gamers, Microsoft has completely changed their policies.
Yeah.
And now Sony can't use that as the reason to get happy for it now. Now they have to say, and the price point also changed for Microsoft as well. So now they have to say, okay, now we have to give you games. Because honestly, right now, people who have PS4s looking around going, we need games.
Yeah, and so a lot of our predictions for this list are going to be based on our assumption that something big is going to happen because they're going to have 40 different movie theaters showing this off to fans. And not only is it going to be an hour and a half like it always has been, but there's also a half-hour post-show where they have interviews and discussions. It's going to be a lot of information. They're not going to come and going to show off the same stuff they've announced.
Yeah, so they have to show a bunch of new stuff, and we should get started with
Yeah,
that.
and we also got some rumors and information that we've had from the internet that we're pulling together. So let's start off with The Order 1886.
Probably a bad way to start this.
Not really great, right?
Because it got delayed to 2015 February. We know the month.
Yeah, the game was going to come out in fall, and then got delayed about a week ago. It was like they showed it off. They showed off some quick gameplay footage that had some previews, and then they wanted to say, yeah, by the way, it got delayed. Now that also leads to questions as to why it got delayed, and that's one of the other big facets of concern for this whole event is that Sony might be thinking that it can let things go because of how well it's selling, that it can just rely on the third-party support, and so it can let a game like The Order 1886
which has concern about what games are actually coming out this holiday, but we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to have some other games to replace them.
So let's talk about something that's coming out around the fall, like #Driveclub.
Yes, this is a social game. That's why the hashtag thing there was said.
Yeah, it was supposed to be coming out last year with the launch of the system, and it's since been delayed. But the game looks great, and it looks like a beautiful racer, and it's social focused.
That's the hashtag.
Yeah, so I suspect they're going to talk about this a bit. Maybe not as much as they did last year, because
they had this whole thing about it.
Yeah, because they had so much discussion about it. I think that they're going to keep it low-key. It's going to be like, hey guys, remember Driveclub? Just letting you know it actually is coming out. But that's something that they're going to be showing off.
And the other game that's going to be there is The Last of Us.
The Last of Us?
Yes.
That game was already out last year.
No, that was the PlayStation 3 version.
Oh, wait, this is the PS4 version?
Yes, they're going to talk about The Last of Us Remastered for the PlayStation 4. It's basically it's a port from the PlayStation 3 game to the PlayStation 4. It's going to have the DLC content, upgrade graphics, better resolution, and I really hope there's more content than that in it. I feel that it just came out a year ago, and just adding people already have that game and the DLC.
Well, it's the Game of the Year edition, except on their console.
Yeah, and the fact that they bundled it with the PS3, I feel they have to give something else to people who've already bought that or something. I just feel
they're working on something. From my understanding, they're working on a way to cost less to people who upgrade.
Yeah, that I hope they push into. Again, I hope there's either like a new chapter or something. There's a lot of people really like that game.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of value for it, so they should keep the value.
And you know what's coming back from last year?
What?
The indie games.
Yes, they did a very good job with demonstrating all these indie games. We got like 7 indie games everywhere.
It was 12, but anyway, it was a lot of indie games.
It was 12?
Yeah, it was about 12 or so. And they're going to set. I suspect they're going to have about a 10-minute long, at least, or around that amount, talking about how many indie games they're supporting the system. They're going to mention they have hundreds of developers.
And it's going to be about
locations.
how they're on the Vita. They might not talk about the Vita.
They might not talk about the Vita.
But apparently people liked hearing the indie games on the Vita.
I think...
Which is what it's become. The Vita is the indie platform.
They're going to cover a lot of indie games. And I think they're going to they're going to really cover like a handful of ones that are like exclusive to their platforms, or at least those that are launching first, and being like, this is a big game coming first to PlayStation 4. Like, that means like it's obviously coming to something else, but... that's happened last year. I was actually caught off guard by how many indie games they showed.
There was a lot of those. So we're probably going to see the same amount here, and especially since how popular the PlayStation 4 is right now for indie developers, we're going to see a lot of push on that front.
Yeah, now, in terms of odd announcements, last Gamescom, we're not even talking about E3 anymore, they announced a number of mid-tier games developed by larger developers that aren't really indie but aren't like AAA studios. Rime is one of them. It's this beautiful platforming game with kind of an adventure experience, kind of in between the Journey and Wind Waker. Yeah, Wind Waker comes to mind. They're also being made as a game called Shadow of the Beast or Shadow of the Warrior. I really should have written that down, right? But the game is like a remake of an old game made by Psygnosis, which now no longer exists, of RIP Studio Liverpool. But the point is that it's going to be bringing back that IP. It looked nice when they showed it off. I suspect we're going to see gameplay trailers or at least gameplay clips of these games in some way at E3.
Besides the indie block, there's also another thing they're taking from the Microsoft conference, and that's Minecraft.
Yep, Minecraft.
Yes, Minecraft came out for the PS3 already,
yep.
And now they're going to talk about the PS4 version.
Yep, and I'm not sure how long they're going to talk about it, but they want to remind people that it's coming.
Yes, just remind you, Minecraft is coming to the platform.
Minecraft!
Because Minecraft sells a lot.
And they want to make sure that people are aware of that.
And it's not exclusive to Microsoft and the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. It's coming out to PlayStation.
And Vita.
So, there. Yeah, it's there.
Now, we mentioned that Sony Santa Monica had some people laid off, and people left the company, but one of the projects from Sony Santa Monica did not get affected, and that is God of War.
Yes. This will be the 5th game in the series, I believe.
Not including any of the
PSP games. It's the first time we'll see it on the PlayStation 4, which I think would be really cool because they do a very good job with graphics with the God of War series. A little gory, in my opinion, but that's what people play for.
Just a little gory.
Okay, a lot of gory.
Kind of like a sugar cube is a little sweet.
Anyways, so I don't think we're going to see a gameplay trailer. I think it's going to be a teaser trailer. I don't know where they're going to take the story. I mean, they kind of ended it, but again, who knows? Who knows? They could surprise us.
Yeah, he's going to be him fighting against, like, you just see, like,
Raw.
Yeah, it's like, oh, things are getting meta in this piece.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, actually.
But on going on that note, we go to the next developer that had some issue with it, and that was Naughty Dog.
Yes.
Had a lot of people leave the company.
Yeah,
and
writer and some
last year they made the official announcement that Uncharted was coming to the platform. And earlier in the year they just said, we just got the engine working right on PS4. So my suspicion is that to help improve their output, they've made the Last of Us Remastered, and that we're now going to see either some sort of gameplay demo, like a slice, or we're going to see a teaser trailer for what is presumably going to be Uncharted.
One of the people that that is no longer working for them was like a voice actor or something, which means they're changing the story or the characters. So I'm really thinking it's a toss-up of how they're going to get this out. I think it's more going to be a teaser than a game.
Yeah, the game's probably coming out next year. The game...
That's why Remastered is coming out this year.
Yeah, it's likely that a lot of the game contents that was in the old version is being reworked, but that doesn't mean that the game is coming out this year.
Now, I'm just throwing this out there off the cuff right now. Collection of the first 3 Uncharted.
You love it.
I'm just saying. I've seen a lot of collections in my day. And
I'm looking away from you because I have had enough of collections. Says the guy who's probably going to buy whatever collection comes out. Anyways, but on that note, we're now going to talk about things that are almost completely baseless. First things first.
Yes.
New Media Molecule IP.
Yes, Media Molecule. The last game they made was Tearaway, which is a fun Vita game that apparently nobody purchased.
There was not a lot of people who worked on that, and to top it off, they had a demo of something that they were showing. Whenever they first announced it, when they had the people dancing with the Move controllers.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about those.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to see a new IP from them at E3. It's been 1.5 years since then. They've obviously got something to show.
Yes, I think they're going to have something new. It's not going to be a Little Big Planet.
And it's not going to be Tearaway either.
It's not going to be Tearaway either. It's going to be something brand new. Again, I don't know what. Puppets. Yeah. They always have very art-style games, and I really look forward to it.
Now, another developer that's got away from, since his last title, was Sony Bend. Their last game was, I think, the PS Vita launch title, which was, I think, Golden Abyss from the Uncharted franchise. So I think they're due for another game, whether it's a Vita game or a PS4 game, I don't know. But I think it's going to be a new IP. And then, continuing that, there's a new developer that's been worked with. Apparently, a class in Carnegie Mellon was working and making these Vita demos with Sony, and then they became interns, and then subsequently became actual employees.
It sounds like they're going to make Vita games.
We don't know what it's going to be. They're going to debut their game at E3, is the report.
Okay.
I think the developer is called like Pixel Homage or something like that.
It'll pop up. It'll pop up here. If he was wrong.
Pixel Opus or something. It's apparently also been trademarked, so the company exists in some way. It's going to be announced soon. Now, of course, that developer could be releasing a Vita game, but even so, I suspect we're going to see at least one, maybe two new Vita games at their press event.
Yes, at Tokyo Game Show, there was hints that they're working on a sequel for Gravity Rush.
Yes, and that's probably definitely going to be demonstrated either then or through a teaser trailer and then shown off at Tokyo Game Show.
Yes.
And they also have a whole butt ton of Monster Hunter clones, and I think one of them, like Freedom Wars, is going to make it.
Come on. We need more Vita games over here if you want to play.
You know, we just released Soul Sacrifice Delta earlier this year. So they're kind of doing that, just kind of slowly. So there's people supporting it, and I think the indie games are definitely going to support Vita as well.
Now, one thing that's in Japan right now that's probably not going to come to America, despite the fact that I think it should, that's the PSVita TV.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do too well to bring back to life the Vita. Vita kind of just grew by itself. I think that in America it's kind of a pointless product. I mean, it would make sense because it would fight off things like the Roku and the Ouya, but I think that even Sony sees that the Vita as a platform in the United States is pretty much a dead platform.
I personally think the reason why I would like to see it is because it could compete against the Steam boxes, because it would effectively be an indie box. It would be an indie box, because that's what the Vita is now.
I'll have you know, the Steam boxes are like $500 to $1,000. Well, this is going to cost like
$100, and that means it's going to cut into their profits. You know.
I think you're marketing.
I'm just saying it's a good idea. I mean, it's an indie box. Why not? But, you know...
Now, what would be a good thing for the PS Vita TV would be to emphasize PlayStation Now.
Yes. Now, last E3, they talked about this streaming service. People were really excited to hear about it, but they didn't have any details about it. And now they have... Gaikai, was the company called?
Gaikai.
Now that they're finally working with them, I think they actually changed the name now.
To PlayStation Now.
To PlayStation Now. And so... They had it went to beta recently.
It went to beta earlier in the year.
Yes, went to beta. And now, it's E3 time. Time for us to know the truth. What is going to happen?
Yeah, it comes out in summer. So unless they delayed it, so it's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out. They're going to tell us how much it's going to cost, what the subscription, is it going to be purchase-based, is it going to be, what games are going to be available?
I would like them to demonstrate it right there. Like, we're going to go on the internet and we're going to play... Snowboard Kids, which is not their IP.
No, I was going to say Crash Bandicoot.
Snowboard Kids is not even close to that platform. But
they're going to play some game and say, look, we're playing it right now through our PlayStation Now services. It's going to cost this much. Here's our grid of how much it's going to cost based on what services you have, whether you're PlayStation Plus or not, and
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I personally think that it's going to... I've mentioned this before. I think it's going to be an expensive endeavor.
Yes.
They said the rumor was about $5 per rental. Which means you're actually renting the games.
It's not subscription based.
Well, they might do a subscription base. They might do a subscription base where it's like $30 a month for everything, but you have to pay $30 a month for everything.
Or it's $5 for a rental
of an individual game.
How much long the rental will last. But again, all that details will probably be shown at the conference.
Or maybe not at the conference, but probably at E3 in some fashion.
Some PR form.
And then there was this one game.
The worst kept secret ever.
The worst kept secret. It was leaked at least once. We not only got screenshots of the trailer, but we also got video of the trailer. The game is called Project Beast.
By From Software, the same people by Demon's Souls and Dark Souls 1 and 2.
Yeah, so... Demon's Souls was a Sony published game, and then they let them go and do their own thing, and they made Dark Souls, and then Sony probably realized it was probably a bad idea to let them go, so they took them back in.
And so they're not making a... So we think it's because of the fact it's called Project Beast. It's probably Beast Souls.
Yeah, we probably won't get a confirmation of that name until next year, because I have a feeling it's... I mean, it looks ready. It looks pretty darn good.
It looks very good.
I suspect that it's coming out either this year, which would be crazy, because Dark Souls 2...
That would be crazy. This is next year.
This is next year. But it's definitely... I hope it's not like their only big announcement,
because it just kind of
leaked out.
But you know what? They have a lot of things to talk about. It's not the only announcement they're going to make.
Yeah, they have other third-party exclusive deals.
Yes.
Such as the upcoming Assassin's Creed. They probably have exclusive content. They did it last time.
They'll do it again.
They'll probably 30 minutes of extra content.
Probably 60. It's content. It's content.
Destiny will be there in some form.
People like that.
They're probably going to have some sort of exclusive content. We just don't know what.
We don't know what. New suit.
Yeah, and on top of that, we're also going to have some Square-Enix discussion now.
Yes?
Square-Enix. Last year they surprised us. I was joking when I said they were going to show off another Final Fantasy or they were show off Kingdom Hearts. Actually, I wasn't joking about Final Fantasy. I had assumed that the game was going to be another Final Fantasy, but but I don't know what's going to happen anymore.
They might come out and say, by the way, Kingdom Hearts 3 next year, and show a full-blown trailer. We know some voice actors are already working towards it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely moving along. As far as Final Fantasy 15, I hope it's coming around soon.
That game may come out in the next fiscal year, so I don't know what to think, but I think trailers are going to come out for both those games again because Sony really liked the amount of hype that was getting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be really funny if Microsoft came and sniped those games. And then, of course, this is a substantiated rumor. Some people have been talking about it for a bit. There's been just some rumblings in the background, and it's been about a year and a half since the last game came out. But we're talking about Resident Evil.
Yes, Capcom. There's a rumor going around for Capcom that they're going to make it Resident Evil 7 exclusive to PlayStation 4.
Even if it's called 7. But it's going to be a new Resident Evil game, and it's going to be exclusive to the PS4 because Sony loves them so much. And they can't make games for Nintendo platforms anymore, so I guess that's the best way to put it. I think there's some plausibility to that because
hopefully it actually chooses a direction to go instead of doing 5 different things at once.
It's going to be you can play as 7 different characters. One of
There's an RPG mode.
One of them is a fishing game.
And one's
Big the cat. He's going to be Barry. Barry the cat. He got mutated into a cat. He's trying to look to look for his friend.
No, I hope they go with Liam S. Kennedy or
Liam
something.
S. Kennedy fishing?
Day one.
So on that note, there's one game
that everybody wants to know about, and I think they've been just dragging it out, and it's just a wound in everybody's mind. The Last Guardian.
Yeah, that game.
We think it's going to be finally shown PS4.
Yes. Why do we bother?
I don't know. Why do we care? It's like there. It's never gone away. Now, of course, it would like Half-Life 3. It's all going to be talk and never smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors.
It makes sense that they would talk about it. I mean,
yeah. Essentially,
they have all those theaters. Like 3 years. I don't know how many years has it been, but it's time. We need it. We need something. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus was amazing, but come on.
Oh, come on. It's been like a decade since that game came out.
I play the game so many times right now.
I can only play the HD collection so many times.
So many times.
But the fact is, I think it's primed up, as you pointed out. Big time to show off their content, even if it's not coming out for 2 years. A teaser trailer of a PS4 would be a great way to get people's attention for it.
Okay, and that is our thoughts on what they're going to show at the conference.
Yep, and so with that in mind, what do you think is the overall breadth? What's the overall theme of what Sony's conference will be? New. It's gonna be all new.
All new.
New companies, new games,
new IPs.
Outside of the first half hour. But outside of that,
what they're gonna do is it's gonna be, we got games. Some now, some later.
Just wait.
Just wait. Please understand. And Sony's turn to say that.
Now it's time for our big guesses.
Yes.
Now, you want me to start or you to start?
You start.
Okay, I'll start with this. Crash Bandicoot.
That was my choice.
Really?
Well, it was one of my choices, but I have another one.
It's a pretty big guess, but it's substantial. There's some information we've seen. Last year they showed a video for the launch of the PlayStation 4, and they had signage that had a picture of Crash Bandicoot, which would cost money since they don't own the license, an arrow, and then the Sony symbol.
So clearly, Crash
going to Sony. I mean, seems way too obvious of a subtle hint to that.
Yeah, Activision's website for Crash Bandicoot took a lot of stuff off.
Okay, that's a little bit more substantial. That's good evidence.
And Mark Kearney.
Mark Kearney's been working for them for a while.
Okay, come on, they're this close.
They're this close. Just make it happen. But I think it would happen right after Destiny. They show up and go, "Hey guys, we have glad to announce that Crash Bandicoot is in fact coming."
Also, it's the 20th anniversary of the PlayStation.
Perfect opportunity to make a remake of the original Crash Bandicoot. Or a new one, for all we care.
Yeah. Now, of course, since you took the biggest, bestest...
Yeah, the biggest, bestest one.
Mine's Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper?
Yes. Now, Sly Cooper, the movie, is supposedly due out next year, I hear. Mm-hmm. So, they could obviously make a game coming out next year that would coincide with the movie. In fact, they're at a theater, they could show a trailer of the movie.
There's also a Ratchet & Clank movie. Don't forget about that one.
You know what? They could do both. There. Boom.
Ratchet & Clank meets Sly Cooper?
No, Sly Cooper. No, they show the trailer of the movie for Sly Cooper and then a gameplay footage, and then, bam, next one.
The Last Guardian, the movie. No, it's not that good. Why would people want to watch that?
Now people are like, I want a game, not the movie.
We tricked you. Anyway, so yeah, Sony's got a lot to live up to from these guesses.
They gotta bring in. They gotta bring the games.
But then again, we still have one company that has to live up to the names of hype, which we are almost certain to overhype.
Yes.
So you click on the button or arbitrary link that on Tony's side, I think.
On one of the sides.
One of the left side, whichever's on the left side. I can't tell anymore. What's left? What's right? It's going to lead you to Microsoft, and whoever's on the right, I can't tell which one's right. Is going to lead you to Nintendo's predictions. But on that note, B flat. That's a good note, right?